It's Graham Rogers, the founder of OvenGleamers, the oven cleaning franchise, and in this video I'm going to talk about what to look out for before cleaning a Smeg range, in this case a 90 centimeter range. Smeg 90 centimeter range, we've got it in my office. I'm looking at replacing it actually because it's got to the point now where it's difficult to use for training because it's got so old and decrepit. So yeah, so if you ever get one of these, a Smeg 90 centimeter range, you don't see this model now that often. The reason we've got this oven is because one of our customers gave it to us, and she liked it so much she actually bought another one exactly the same. So when I went to pick this up, in the kitchen was one exactly the same. So the reasons she decided to get rid of it were because of the problems with it, and these problems are problems you get with lots of Smegs. So for example, these little buttons are all burnt off because heat obviously came up here and burnt all these, and they're all melted. All the transfers had come off. Can you see there's actually no transfers at all on this at all? So on some of the Smegs, they've got transfers, and on others they've got they're actually stenciled properly, stenciled into the fascia properly. And sometimes it's difficult to tell which is which. So say I come to clean this one. At the beginning of the job, before you start cleaning it, you need to have a look at these transfers. And well, this one obviously you say, oh, they're all completely disappeared. But sometimes they'll be half missing. Sometimes they'll be completely there, intact. But you've got to be really careful on this oven, this cooker, because if you just spray some cleaning product on here and then wipe it off with the transfers, the transfers just come off. They come off so easily. We need to check for damage, and so you need to check. And when we come to clean these, the way we clean them is if they've got transfers. What I do, I get some washing up liquid on a cloth, and I just wipe off the grease with the washing up liquid, rather than put anything else on. And I just go around just doing this to get the grease off. Okay, so that's the thing you need to check. You need to check obviously these things, because I've actually paid £15 each for these. Incredible, I know. It was £10 and he wanted to charge me £5 for posting it to me, which is completely ridiculous. This is, I think that's a Smeg official spares company. Yeah, so it could be expensive if you've got to replace these. And inside, you notice that the actual seal is missing. The thing about the Smeg seal, it's normally very small in width. Quite a lot of the time you find that it's actually completely encrusted in carbon, and it's stuck. It's actually stuck to this. So when you go to try to take it off, it actually breaks. What's happened in the past is I've actually broken one, and I've paid to replace it, and they're not cheap. So even going back about 10 years ago, they were £30. And when the seal arrived, it wasn't a complete seal. It wasn't all the way around. It was just like a goalpost. So if I get to one of these and I notice it is broken, what I'll try to do is tidy it up by cutting the bits off to make it a goalpost, because I know that if I order a new one, it's going to come only three-sided. So I try to make, if I can make a three-sided seal out of the four-sided seal, which is there, then I'll do that. But yeah, so the seal is something else, and then the next thing you need to look at are the hinges. So on this older version of Smeg, it's got these locking devices, and what you do, you push them up, and they go. You can see that little top clip thing goes onto that peg, and you make sure that both sides are on. And then what you do is you pick up the door, and as you pick up the door, it locks. Can you see it's locking? And as you pick the door up, it actually comes off. Okay, and then to put it back in, can you see at the bottom there are some notches, and those notches need to be on that there. Okay, so what you do is you slide it in until the notches go in there. Okay, once both sides are in, you can let it go. You may have to wiggle it a bit to get them to line up. And once they're in, what should happen is this door should lay flat, and then you can bring the two locks down, and then you can check the door and make sure it's closing properly and make sure it lines up properly. So if it's closing properly and it's lining up properly, so if you get it wrong, this gap could be wider. Then you know you've put the door back on. The other thing that you need to know about these is some of the modern Smeg range cookers don't actually strip the door down, and the reason we don't strip the door down is because I found from experience that when I take it completely apart and you get inside is a 2-pane glass inner with a small, it must be 1 mil gap in between the 2 panes of glass. So you take it all apart and then you get to the middle and you can't clean in the middle panes. So it still looks dirty when you put it back together, so a complete waste of time, and it's really difficult to get the door back together. So on the modern ones, what I try to do is, if you take this top glass, most of the time will come off. You can do the inner glass and the door glass and relieve the inner door. So it's just one of those things. I've ended up calling out an engineer to fix it when I've tried to do it. So as I said, do what you can. Most of the time you can take doors apart, but Smeg, especially Smeg ranges and the newer ones, are particularly difficult to take apart. So this is the older style, and this one is quite easy to take apart. The only thing is, when you actually take it apart, I don't know if you can see in the glass here, but there's like a lip. You've got to clean when you take the door apart. There's a lip inside that you've got to clean, and the way I do it is I get a toothbrush and I run it around inside. And the way the door comes off is that's rust. Looks like rust on there. Obviously, that's something else you need to look out for. Rust. Look out for rust on Smeg. So this one's got rusty handle, and you get rusty racks inside of Smegs quite often. Yeah. So the way you take this door apart is you undo the screws here, and then the handle comes off. And I think there's a couple of screws on here, and then it just opens up. And as I said, then that ledge can be difficult, but I get behind it with a toothbrush. So that's things to look out for when cleaning a Smeg. Obviously, you need to look at it for scratches. This is, as I said, it's time to be replaced really. Even as a training tool, it's old and rusty. You can see all the rusting around here. Okay, so something else you need to look out for on the Smeg are the scratch back plates. So you just need to look for the scratches. They normally are scratched. And the newer ones with the modern newer ones with the plastic, they've got a plastic back on them. You need to really check those as well, because I've noticed if we've been accused of scratching them, but they're already scratched. And I think it's because they're plastic. You've really got to look at them from all angles just to make sure. As I always say, when you're cleaning a range, if it's got lights above, turn them all on. Light the cooker up as much as you can so you can see all the scratches, because I guarantee the customer, when they come in at the end, they're going to switch all the lights on, and they're going to have a good look at it when it's fully illuminated. So do it at the beginning. As you notice, scratches. You need this has got a dent as well. A dent. And on Smeg on these, I clean these in the sink, because they're not enamelled. So if these were enamel, so I would dip them, but as these aren't enamel, I clean these in the sink, and it's just a case of scrubbing them. I blade them a bit sometimes if they're bad, and then they come out like this. Okay, yeah, I think that's it with the Smeg. That's Graham Waters, the founder of OvenGleamers, the oven cleaning franchise. To get oven cleaning business tips, startup and growth ideas, please subscribe to this channel by clicking the button below this video, and also if you click the bell button you'll be notified every time I release a new video. Okay, thanks, bye bye.